Welcome to the Joy of Board Games with your host, Sean Leonard. All right, let's see what we can find today. Hopefully, we find something interesting. Let's see if there's anything good at the Goodwill today. Oh, look at this game Monopoly for fantasy drivers. And we smushed the camera. But now we're back. Okay, so this game's kind of interesting. Brand new if you find it, $10 to $15. Not that good used. So the 10 to 15 though is with them paying shipping. So it still could be worth it at the right price. New, used, it's just not worth it. All right. And again, board games, the one thing to kind of look at, especially with Monopoly, is you want to look for the pieces. And make sure all the pieces are there. Everything's there. Preferably doing it at the store. But if you can't, when you get home, you're going to have to go through it. So there is some time involved in selling used board games. That's the one caveat that people don't always realize, is that how much time is it going to take you to check to make sure everything's in that game. All right, so this one didn't show up on Amazon. It did show up brand new, $22, $14 used on, actually there's a $24 used, but it says new at the end. So I would say probably a hard pass. Maybe if you're sending it into Amazon, it might be worth it because there's nothing else there. And for Amazon, if you're the only one, you could still then make some money because I'd put it like $20 on Amazon. It is metal, so it probably would be pretty heavy, though. So a couple things to think about. The nice thing with a game like that, though, is it's just cards, so it's pretty easy to check to make sure everything's there. Let's see what else we can find. All right. This game is $50 used on Amazon. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's by Apple and Apple. So it's another one of their games, and yeah, Amazon, those things are selling like hotcakes right now. So I would 100% pick this up if you see it, because again, at $50, even once they take out their fees, you're still going to get a very good return on investment. The Face Race didn't have it on Amazon. I had it on eBay. As you can see, they're only $16 new, so it's not really worth trying to go after a used version because there's no profit in it. Now, if you find a new one, maybe it would be worth it if it was cheap enough. Again, though, you still got to deal with the shipping. I mean, it's $16 with free shipping. So by the time you pay for shipping it and everything else, there's still not much profit in there. What else can we find here? Anything else interesting jump out at us? Oh, another Monopoly. Sometimes there are some good Monopolies out there. You just got to kind of keep an eye out for it. Monopoly Millennials. Let's see what this one is. $17 new, so probably not. Now, the other thing to think about with some of these Monopoly games, and this is where, depending on time and storage, you could sell just the little pieces or break apart the game, and maybe you could make some decent money. But if you're selling just the Monopoly tokens, it's less storage and much easier shipping, and then somebody loses one, or just some people collect them. So that might be another way to go, where you're not storing the full big game, you're just storing the tokens. And especially if the game's cheap enough, you just pull out the tokens, and maybe you sell 3 different games worth of tokens together, or something like that in a bigger lot. So there are other options if the game's cheap enough. And maybe same thing with the board, you could always throw those in a pile and sell 10 boards together for $20 or something, and people might jump on it just because they want them for wall hangings. This robot thing here, yeah, I mean it's kind of all over. There is one for $17.99 with $17.99 for shipping. There's one for $30. I don't think there were any used ones, so it was kind of hard to get a gauge. With the $17.99 with the shipping on that, and that's brand new, I probably would still pass because this is a used one, and if you take down past the lower on that, there's not much available there to kind of be left on the bone. So we want to make sure we're making some good money on this. All right. Let's see what else is here. I always look for games that I don't recognize. So stuff that you don't recognize from your childhood or those type of things. So this one actually, I mean, it was a $9. If it was, again, for the price, probably not worth shipping into Amazon. But it's one of those, actually the $9 is how much you'd make on it. And then a new bingo, they wanted $2.50 for the bingo. It's just, there's no value in that. But I try to look for games that I don't recognize and that I just don't know. So, hey, if you guys could click that like button and click the subscribe buttons for me, I would really appreciate it. It does help the channel, and that way you guys can see when new videos are coming out. That's an older Candyland, but again, those just the value's not there. See what else we find here. Another Monopoly. This one's golf. So let's see here. Again, if you find these guys new, sometimes they're worth it. This one's only worth $13 new, so probably not. $9. The Monopolies used to be, the special edition ones used to be worth a lot more. Just lately, they're not worth that much. So I'm sure there's still some good ones out there. What I would do is go sort Monopoly on eBay and then sort the highest value ones. Now, this Harry Potter is a winner, $55 new, and that's without anybody selling them on FBA. So I probably would put it at $59.95 and make a good return on investment, especially you're making like $40 off of it. So very good find, and it's new, so I don't have to do any other work on it besides peeling off that label, sticking on my own label, and shipping it into Amazon. So it makes it very easy. This game, again, the $10.69 is what Amazon sells them for. So there's just no value in it. Some of these, when they're smaller, if you're still making $7-8 and it's an easy ship-in and it's maybe brand new or easy to tell that all the pieces are there, it might be worth it if you're only getting it for $1 or $2, because again, it's your return on investment and how much time you put into it. So if you're not putting a lot of time and it's just pretty much scanning it, putting it into your pile and putting a sticker on it, then some of those for Amazon are worth it. eBay would never be worth it. It's just, there's no, the amount of time having to package it and do everything that you would need to do for an eBay sale isn't there. But for some of these smaller items, shipping them into Amazon is not always a bad thing if you're making $7-8 off the item. If at the end of the day you're only putting 5 minutes into it, I think if somebody said, "Hey, give me 5 minutes of your time, I'll give you $8," you might do it. So it just really depends on those items, how much the return is for the time. All right, another game. If you can see how the box on this. Now, this one was going for new $61. So, pretty good return on that one. So, that is a keeper also. I always look for the ones that have that rougher edge on the box versus total matte or total shiny. If it's more a matte box, usually those are the higher end games. Those are the specialty types of games. And go into a game store, like next time you're in the mall, walk into the game store and walk around and see those type of games. That's the ones where you'll find that game that's $50, $60, $80, $100 for the game. So more with the matte versus, as you can see, the ones that are mass produced are usually the box is slicker. So it's a good way when you're kind of sliding through the games to see, hey, this one has a matte finish. Let me see what that one looks like. Now again, there are still some of the top end brands like that Harry Potter, because it's a specialty one for that, that's going to give you that type of return on investment. Another one, I mean, this one right here, Hasbro, again, it's Hasbro, but also look at the price, $35 for this game. So that's a good return on investment. So the only problem is with this game like that is there is several plastic pieces, so you just got to make sure everything's there. Now you've got the CNETs. So the other part with this is you do need to check to make sure the DVD is not scratched. If you buy it, $21 used, very good, 19. So not horrible on the price. I would still, because of the issue with the DVDs, I'm always a little more leery about those guys. But again, depends on how much you're getting it for, how much time you have to go into making sure everything's okay. So it could still be worth it, and it also always depends on sales rank. Let's see here. So a new wrapped game, always want to look at the new games. This one though is $7.88, so not really worth it. They want $5 for it. There's just no profit in there. You only make $1.71. You would lose money by selling it. New puzzles are almost always a good find, but this one, the problem was there's a hole in it, so it was losing pieces. And I don't think anybody would want to buy a puzzle when not all the pieces were there. I'm sure they would. You would get some very friendly emails talking about why would you sell me a puzzle that's missing pieces. So, and again, used puzzles are never going to be worth it because counting pieces. The Minions one, yeah, this, I mean, $3.61, it's just not worth it, the return on investment. Now, going back to the used puzzles, the one thing I would say is it's not never, because, hey, if it's a $100, $200 puzzle, it might be worth spending an hour counting the pieces to get $100, $200. But it is a lot of work, so just something to think about. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Please, again, if you guys have a chance, like and subscribe. And you have an amazing day.